like you mentioned, I didn't have a lot of confidence. I am not a technology whiz by any means. And that was something that kind of kept me on the sidelines for a while. And I'm glad I took that first step. And I would say, if to any of our listeners, if you're thinking about doing it, do it. Just do it. Put your head down and do it. I'm certainly glad I am. And it takes that first step to, to grow $1 million business. It needs to make its first dollar, right? You need that first sale. And so I took that first step, and I'll never forget that first sale. Proudly marching it in. That was before FBA, or before I had enrolled in FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. I walked into that post office with my chest puffed out, like I was ready to conquer the world. It was a $15 sale, but man, I just knew that this is a great feeling, and I can't wait to replicate this. And so had some inventory in my basement, continued to grow my orders and source from different suppliers, and pretty soon it turned into a real business. And so that's my e-commerce story to date.
I had all these thoughts. I've always wanted to own my own business since I was picking potatoes at 7, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I have always wanted to do that, and I think it was a lack of confidence that always, it was in that little voice in the back of your brain saying, hey, nah, you can't do that. Nah, stop, don't think that way. Well, finally, I said, hey, it's time to, shit or get off the pot, right? Mm-hmm. As my mom would say. So, yeah, it was January of 2018, and I was on Christmas break, and I always spend a lot of time with my kids. And I think I was just thumbing through, YouTube videos, and I ran across a YouTube video about, this guy selling on Amazon, and his garage was a Lambo, and I was like, if this kid can do that, I can too. Mm-hmm. And at that point in time, I pretty much drilled into that specific space, and for the next 3 months, I learned everything I could about it. And within 3, I launched my business in February, and I believe it was mid-May of 2018. I made more money on my business than I did at my day job. Mm-hmm. And at that point in time, I went all in. I knew, like, I had the confidence at that point, like, hey, I can do this. I know I can do this. I'm going to go all in. And along the way, there was lots of, mentors and lots of books. I think we talked prior, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read that book, and that had a massive impact on me. Tons of other books along the way, but yeah, in general, that was kind of the triggering events for me.
Okay. And in hindsight, you've been doing e-commerce for quite some time now. In hindsight, are you glad you did it?
Absolutely. The only regret that I have is not to have started earlier.